right. Excuse me. Aries. Mid-January, mid-February cycle, 2022. Aries, I had pulled a whole other spread for you yesterday, and I had done a few readings, and I was just so exhausted. Like there was nothing left in me, and I had to kind of force myself to not do your reading yesterday. So it could just be me in my life, but I have a feeling with what cards came up for you that you've been, your internal life force, because I see a lot of sunshine here. There's almost, this is your reading for sure. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of sunshine, there's a lot of beginning, new beginnings, and that's all that you represent. You encompass the new beginning, the spring into spring, the life beginning on earth again, taking action, energy force. And it seems as if there is a need for securing our own energy, so that we can expand it outward again in a way that comes natural to us. So I think that there's been, in the past, there's been some, you've been drained. You've been totally drained. This is the card of not being able, don't think you're going to be able to do one more thing. Don't think you're going to be able to get to the end of this, this cycle, you know, because you're just so exhausted for whatever reason that may be. But then I look at your oracle, and this Baraka card is about the force within us all, the life force, the positive energy that all humans naturally have in varying degrees and vibrations. It's the positive vibrations of things. And it seems as if you get your mojo back. You feel better. You're on your way to feeling better. And this is also, so it's as if you're, you know, we burn wood to feel warm. We burn coal to fuel our energy. So there's as if you need to get back to nature in some way or form, back to your natural self, back to the natural way you do things. Maybe you need to be a little more homeopathic with things. Maybe you need to get back to your own nature and stop trying to please other people and do things out of your comfort zone. There's a time to recharge here. You've got to put your battery on the charger here for a bit. It's, you know, Aries is kind of the Energizer Bunny of the zodiac, but even the Energizer Bunny, you know, can't keep going all the time. There comes a point where you need to recharge. And that's what this is about. And your underlying card from the tarot is there's a moving out of troubled waters. There's a kind of a seeking of peace. So, and then there's the Jupiterian. So these troubled waters are in the background here. It's as if you turned your back to them and start getting more playful, or you've been juggling and trying to keep merry about it for a long time on pretty much only 2 pentacles, you know? And now you're saying, okay, time to take a break and go somewhere and relax. At the center of your reading, it seems you do. Something happens. There's an exciting event, a new beginning of something. And how you were feeling in the past, if you go 9 and 10, it's the accomplishment of something that was a big struggle. And here you are, picking up that last stick, the chosen one, really. And you are seen by others and praised for your efforts, praised for your determination and the work that you've done up until this point. You're victorious. And that is what is helping you regain this new beginning as well. Get the energy back. Maybe you're coming home. Maybe you're in the military and you're finally coming home and you're able to recharge. Or maybe there was this big project that you were working on and you were just at the very end of your wit trying to figure out how you were going to finish it because you just didn't know where it was coming from. The energy wasn't there. But you get enthusiasm again because something happens and you complete this major cycle in your life, this major goal. And everyone sees and recognizes you for this wonderful achievement. What surrounds you is not feeling understood by others, not feeling. This may be an energy of the past. I see maybe people don't understand the truth of this situation in entirety. They don't understand what actually your experience was through this, the suffering that you've seen, the help that you needed. Because these people are walking past this cathedral. They seem like to be presented as, represented as beggars or the homeless or the sick, the meek. And there's a space here for them. Maybe not a bed, but a place where they can stay and keep warm during the storm, because it is snowing outside. So maybe people didn't know, or they couldn't relate to you and your truth at the time. They couldn't see what you were fighting for, or they couldn't wrap their head around the idea that you would ever need them. This could also pertain to people around you. People who are downtrodden, people are suffering or lonely or sick around you, and you are offering some sort of concept or idea that shines a light for these people. Maybe you are active in the humanitarian efforts. Maybe because this also could have to do with the health of things. There's the sun, this is a health card. This is also a health card, an ill health card. So there is kind of the new beginning in a procedure, a new beginning in a technique, a new beginning in a new philosophy. The seed has been planted, you know. There's a truth that's being found here about something. And it's a victorious card, so it would be helpful to those who are in need. You found a way to help others in need. Or you were a medic in the military, or that's how they see you. What is surrounding this whole situation, that's the vibration, is there was illness of the soul or illness of the body, a feeling of deprivation, of downtroddenness, of others in your life or yourself. And there is some kind of divine inspiration, divine clarity, the beginning of a seed of wisdom is planted about all of this. And it looks like it has to do with that final step you're taking when you receive these accolades, or the final battle you fought when you didn't think you could win anymore, that you didn't think you could have any more fight in you. And I find it fascinating that the wreath here, a victorious symbol to begin with, a symbol of valor, really. And this blessed idea has valor. Those are palms. It's as if the divine has guided you here through the storm and led you to your underdog parade. You know, there's people rejoicing your return, rejoicing your victory. And then there is a time moving out of the treacherousness of the past into peacefulness, into holisticness, being able to be yourself again, not having to worry about all of this anymore. Underneath in your subconscious mind, or what is underlying the entire situation, this cycle, the trumpets are being sounded for you. You're being called to be reborn. There is a spiritual upliftment, a spiritual change within you, coming from deep within you, because of this test that you've passed. You're feeling young again in the future. I see this as being the same scene. These two cards, the color scheme's pretty much the same. It's as if this is a representation of the divine rejoicing you. And this is a representation of you rejoicing yourself, your life, loving your life again. You have an appreciation for who you are. You have enthusiasm and energy again. You're being called to be creative, to be fun and loving and excited about life. Once more. And it will happen for you. These 3 cards, there's just so much fire. There's so much hurrah, like a divine blessing, a new beginning, one more stick to win the game. Not that it's felt like a game, but you see how the sun is also shining in very similar fashion. This also feels like this is all part of the same picture. It's a trip back to childhood as well. It's a homecoming that brings happiness. The only thing that's missing from these 3 cards in the picture is the angels, the spirits that are rejoicing you. I think that somebody that isn't in the picture anymore, for whatever reason, deep down you might know that they are singing your praises as well. And they are watching you through this victory. Your advice is to accept the painful ending, the culmination of the suffering that has been, in order to receive the new dawn. If you were at war, it is to deal with the tragicness of the past, what you survived, and others may have not. If in a metaphorical or figurative sense, it would be the battle that you seem to have gotten out of, that others may have not been so lucky. Spiritually, physically. The health battle that some did not defeat. The Ten of Swords is a feared card in the tarot. It is, at its most face value, it is not the most pleasant card to look at. But what people don't understand about it is, I was just watching something yesterday that had this, the suffering that we experience is an actual, and this, please don't take this the wrong way, but it's a very metaphor. The suffering we experience is a trigger point within our own subconscious. It is a subconscious trigger for us to spiritually ascend a lot of the time, is what I find in my life. Without the suffering that I've been through, or that I've seen other people go through, I would not learn anything. It would not be worth it. The final outcome, hopefully, of getting this purity, this warmth, this light coming to the surface, the dawn breaking, the light at the end of the tunnel. Romantic love. You could have been alone for a long time, and you always thought you would be alone. And you had gone through the dating world, and you feel like, this could be any situation in your life where it was a battle for you, And sometimes this energy is absolutely necessary. And when it's in the advice card, it's telling you to don't avoid it. Don't avoid the pain. Don't avoid it. Deal with it. Confront it, accept it, get angry at it, do whatever you've got to do, because this is the end. This is the culmination. So the next step is a new beginning. And we don't want to keep this for the ride. We want to heal as much as we can. We don't want to manifest this again, whatever this was. We want to keep it where it belongs, in the past. And maybe we'll never forget it, but it's telling us to understand it, at least. Helping us to meet the spiritual requirements of the situation, to find our purpose through all of it, or a purpose, even when it seems impossible to find a purpose for this tragic or suffering of the past. To understand that we must find some kind of clarity in the pain in order to be able to start over fresh, to deal with it and to move on and to have learned from what we've gone through or what we've seen others go through and experienced with them at their side. And that's what this is, the experience of with other people at your side. People are celebrating with you. There possibly could be a marriage. Your homecoming could bring a marriage upon its arrival, a child, the birth of a child in the family, plans to have children. So a marriage with plans to have children. I'm seeing a lot of family, the beginning of a family. Others may be working with you on this. You may be in love with somebody. There might have been a rejoicing and celebration that's led to some kind of pregnancy. So if you don't want children, I would be careful about that, because there's lots of children in these. There's very phallic representation here. There's a female representation here. There's the combination of divine masculine, divine feminine. There's a celebration, rejoicing of love within a stability of the home. So there's lots of, people are loving you and you are loving them, and you are sharing an experience. You're building a home of some kind. You're making plans for the future again. You see the sun coming up now. And you're enthusiastic again. You feel like a little kid. Like calling, "Hey, I'm back. Come on over." Your fears is that you won't be able to escape the mental prison that what you've seen with your own two eyes has been. That it will somehow keep you stuck in mental anguish and a pattern of holding, that you'll never be able to truly experience anything beyond what you've had to deal with from this situation over here. That it will have inhibited your growth. Maybe you're afraid of the things that you don't see about the situation. Maybe you're afraid that you won't be able to, people won't be able to look at you the same way anymore if they really knew what happened or what you've been through. Maybe you're afraid that you'll never want to leave this energetic place with others, that you might not be able to escape the mental prison of your mind enough to enjoy it. The 8 and the 10. The 8 is feeling frustrated and stuck because we are unable to make decisions, because we feel that there's no way out. There is a beginning of hopelessness here. This is a depression card. The 9 of Swords is like, finally, this depression that has made us feel stagnant and stuck has become something that is keeping us up at night and making us not be able to eat. It is affecting our day-to-day life slowly. It is starting to manifest into a real, actual problem. Our negative thoughts are starting to manifest into an actual problem. The 10 is the ending. Like, the problem has happened. It's here. You're laying on the ground. You've been knocked down. There's no coming back from whatever happened. It's done. Okay? It's almost like you're reliving the nightmare. You're afraid to relive the nightmare. This could be if you are in the military, armed forces, whatever, something like that. You could have some post-traumatic stress disorder of some kind. There is a trauma, this reliving of trauma, because we're going backwards. We're progressing forwards this way to the outcome, but yet we were at the final card, and other people are happy that we're home, and we're happy that we're home, and there is a planning, making plans for the future. There's a stability. There is love, there is joy, there is celebration. But yet, we're still stuck in our head about something. We're still unable to move forward because of something that's happened in the past. Because I'm connecting these two cards. It's as if we're going backwards in time. Maybe we're trying to heal, and going backwards is the only way we can do it. There's a balance to the card 8. There's also a thinking we need others to help us when really we can help ourselves. There's also an infinite part of the number 8. If you tip it on its side, there's this universal wisdom that comes with 8. The spiritual wisdom comes at the 7, and we gain the insight at the number 8, or we put it into practicality at the number 8, I believe. Not a big numerology person, but if this has been something that you've been going through, that you've had to deal with something, and there is some sort of truth that comes out. There is a secret exposed. There is some kind of truth that leads to a new beginning and a new way of expressing yourself and others seeing you. And the cat's out of the bag, but you can be yourself at the core level and express yourself the way you want to. The High Priestess and the Sun together, she is like the wise woman. The Sun is a fun, vibrating. The Sun exposes all. Everything comes to the light in the Sun. And the High Priestess delves in the darkness. She understands both light and darkness, but she really sees in the darkness well. So anything that you've been keeping to yourself about a situation, maybe you were afraid of and unable to move forward about something that you've been dealing with. Others will see you as victorious over this when it comes out, that they will say they handled this with grace. And you will express yourself with grace upon receiving these accolades from others about the struggle that you've been through, about all the story of you, of what this journey of you going off on your own and suffering and seeing the suffering of others, helping them, trying to help them. You were called to action, to come back home. And now that people start to understand, they start to see you clearly for who you are, and to see you as a graceful, quiet, stoic hero. There's a humbleness here. Because the High Priestess knows, although she deserves this life that she's come into, she knows it could have turned out many different ways. She had made many different decisions, or one different decision. And so for that, she is grateful, because she is so connected to the universe. And without that connection, she knows that she would have not made the same decisions that she had made that led her to this happiness and victory, triumph. Seems you go off on this journey to learn more about yourself and to become bigger in your energy force, or your depleted energy force then starts to recharge after a time of difficulty. You get a zest for life again. And this is also the secrets of life. What's that? The secrets of life. It's like Hakuna Matata. I feel like at the end here of this cycle, no worries for the rest of your days, baby. All right, Aries. May the fierce be with you, Aries. See you in February.